All right, coming to you with another Once Human tutorial video. This time, we're going to talk a little bit about deviants and how they've changed in the third closed beta test. For the most part, I think the changes are all positive. They're a lot easier to manage now. You can kind of, similarly to how they were in CBT2, see what traits they want. This one, for example, wants red lights and electricity. I have not run power to them yet. This one wants red lights, a crop nearby, and high heat from a furnace. The nice thing about the furnace is that they don't require the furnace to be working. This one over here, for example, you can see that the temperature bonus is applied even though there's nothing actually operating in the furnace. So you can just plop down a furnace. They don't need to be operating. Some deviants are the same as they were in the last beta, such as the electric eel still gives more electricity. Nothing has really changed there. But some have changed quite a bit, and they're no longer the same deviant at all, such as the butterfly that used to craft the flight potion, and the whispers now is a combat assistant that will fight with you in battle. So some have changed significantly. And your goal of fulfilling their needs is still to increase their deviant power, which says deviant power is greater than the set activate threshold. Deviation enters the activate state. When the deviant power is 0, deviation enters dormant. And for mood, it says mood affects deviation's crafting and gathering speed, as well as their combat performance. So like if you were going into battle with this butterfly, the higher its mood is, the better it's going to perform, the more damage it's going to do. So it's in your interest to try and meet its demands and what it wants. But unlike CBT2, where they could be really finicky, and they would sometimes like reset and jump out of the cage and stuff like that if they weren't perfectly micromanaged. Now they're generally always happy, but you can make them more happy. So even if you just want to not even manage these things at all, you just want to drop them down and get the absolute baseline performance out of them, they will still perform. They still do their job, and they're still pretty useful to have. But if you want to take the time out to set up your rooms and meet all their demands, they will only perform better. Depending on like if you actually plan to use that deviation, it may be worth it or not worth it to put in all that extra time. It'll just kind of be up to you. Also just kind of wanted to show a little bit of how I have these different rooms set up for the different deviations to meet their needs. This is not complete. I'm still kind of setting it all up and finalizing everything, but they're pretty straightforward. I mean, you can tell just by looking at them what they want. You know, like this one, I haven't run power and I haven't found any toys yet to place down, so he's not getting any bonuses. But even with no bonuses, his mood is still 94 out of 100 because there's nothing really lowering his mood, like nothing negative is happening. So even at this like absolutely almost no effort put in, he's still performing very well. So you don't really have to invest like super hard into them. Same thing with this guy, you know, like his mood's still really good. It could always be better though, you know, so if you want to get more and more performance out of these guys, you can certainly invest in them. You can put in the time and the effort to get them all set up, and you don't have to. They're pretty good in and of themselves, which I think is a good change, because last beta there was all sorts of issues and bugginess and problems with the deviations at times where they would reset and jump out of their cages and all that, and it was kind of a crappy time. I'm not going to go over what all the different deviations do in one video. Most of them are pretty easy to find. We've got videos up on how to find them all on the channel for the most part, so most of them you still find just naturally throughout the story from defeating bosses and from like sort of predetermined events. And the couple that are difficult to find or require you to go to a specific place or do a specific thing, we've made videos about, so feel free to check those out. If you are missing any of these, I don't have absolutely all the ones that are in the beta, but we'll continue to upload them as new areas open up and we get access to more deviations. And if something changes with any of these conditions or anything special that needs to be done, I'll make a follow-up video to kind of explain what those are. So that's going to be it for this just really short and sweet video on deviations. Happy hunting out there.